Welcome back, everyone. Here you are again. I hope you're having the day that you deserve. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jasmine and I specialize in realistic drawing. I try my best to make my colored pencil drawings look like photos. Sometimes people like to argue about whether or not they're photos. Please feel free to share my videos or even my website. It's a free way to help me out, and subscribe. It's a free way to support this channel so that I can keep bringing you content. This video is sponsored by me and my website, jasminebakerart.com. I am an artist, always have been, always will be. I specialize in making drawings look like photos. I'd like to introduce you to a newer piece, which is this Barbie drawing from my manufactured series. Prints begin shipping this month. These will be a limited run and prints start at only $10. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my Henry Cavill drawing that I did earlier this year. This is a selfie that Henry took with a horse that I decided to draw. There is a black and white candid portrait of him that I would love to also draw at some point in my life, but we will focus on this for now. He's going back into the screenshot folder. Yes, I know my hands look dry in almost every video. I strongly recommend building a bridge and getting over it. I work for a living and my skin gets very dry. Moving on. When I was about 74% of the way complete with this drawing, I started looking into references of hats because the idea hit me to change the logo on the hat. When I googled images of Henry Cavill wearing hats, he's almost always wearing the same hat. It took a while to decide on a color palette for the hat because I didn't want that to draw too much attention away from the rest of the drawing. Then I decided to Google hats, then Superman logo hats, then I chose from that list of items. I finally came to a decision to use this warm toned hat, and then I still changed the color palette of it. Does anyone else do that, or do you all plan out your drawings more than I do? I feel like I always see artists plan the entire layout of their drawing, and then the art ADHD hits me while I'm in the middle of the final part of every drawing, the coloring part. Then I end up either changing something or adding something in because my brain wants it to be changed, and my brain will not overlook it until I change it. This video is mainly about the initial drawing process, which is why it's significantly longer than the first one I uploaded last year about this project. I'm just going to go over some of the techniques that I use when I'm drawing faces. Because I don't use a grid and I don't trace, I draw everything freehand. There is a process. When drawing the eyes, as I do many times, I notice that his tear ducts are not identical. Most people's aren't. Don't beat yourself up if the eyes look the same but the corners do not. That's quite normal. No one's face is perfect, except his.
I'm Henry Cavill, and I play Jesus Christ.
You know, I wake up every day and I tell myself I'm the straightest man that's ever been born, and it's all lies. Henry Cavill, my God, man. I don't even know what my name is. Swoon.
But really, almost no one's face is perfectly symmetrical. Some of these clips are in real time, some are sped up. This was just about 4 hours of footage that I tried to crunch into 40-ish minutes, however long this video is going to be. So this gives you a deeper look into how the drawing starts, especially the composition part. In the first steps, I do draw right side up just to place the subjects on the paper, and then I turn it upside down to do the meat and potatoes of the drawing. You'll see a few times in this video that I use the pencil as a measurement for the distance between the eyes. I also like to use the pencil to determine the size of the eyes, the distance between the eyes, brows, and the hat, because that's how true drawing skill works. It requires planning and measuring. Since there are so many components in the image, it actually is a little bit easier to draw. You can match up certain areas of the drawing with other areas. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together. One thing I decided to do on this drawing that I didn't do in my other drawings was add the shadows. That's not something I do when I'm sketching because generally I know where the shadows already are. So normally I don't feel the need to map those out. However, I was picky this time and I really wanted to make this as realistic as I possibly could. So I drew out sections on the paper where there are drastic changes in the tone. So it kind of turns into a paint by number. Where there is a solid black shadow, I just add diagonal lines to indicate how far to color the shadow. Sometimes I write little notes on my paper. I kind of did the same thing with the Aquaman drawing. There's a ton of numbers on there to keep myself from getting confused. I do remember having to draw the horse's reins a lot because the sizing was wrong, and I think I drew some parts too big or too small, and it was throwing off the entire left bottom quarter of the paper. Every artist knows that feeling when you've almost drawn the entire thing and then you look at the reference and then you question your entire existence. It's hard out here in these streets. Where is our support group? Is there enough therapy for that? How many times do we need to be personally victimized by our own art? In the reference picture, it's closer up, so I am able to see a lot of texture in Henry's face. I made sure to add as much as I could see to the drawing. The same goes for the horse. I've only drawn horses maybe 2 times. One was a bullseye sketch from Toy Story. Before that, I drew horses from very far away on a scratch board back in my teenage years. Side note, I have a couple of scratch boards that I bought from Blick some years back and I never used them. There hasn't been a picture that I wanted to transfer to them yet. Pretty sure I bought them 10 years ago and now they're in my work shed. I see them all the time and I cannot get myself to just pick a picture to draw on a scratch board at this point in life. I don't even know where my etching tools are. So I do a similar mapping out process when I'm putting the shadows of the nose, as well as the face stubble and the little lines under his eyes when he smiles, because everybody's faces pretty much do that. And those are not even symmetrical either. So when you have the drawing turned upside down, it's a little bit easier to see which direction those lines go. Same goes for drawing eyelids. The eyelids are actually not just one line above the eye, they're a tiny little strip of color, so that's another thing to remember. Drawing the mouth on any portrait is always going to test my faith and my abilities. Lips are challenging not because they're all different, but because they aren't a totally black and white thing to do. I tend to use short lines and dots when drawing lips because when I'm coloring, I have to make sure the lips fit in with the rest of the face. They have to blend in well. Transitioning a skin tone into several shades of pink will always be my least favorite thing to do. Drawing the top and bottom lip, you must pay attention to where the lips are separated because sometimes the person's teeth are showing. His lips aren't totally symmetrical, but they are pretty close. So there may be like 1 millimeter of space where you can see his teeth, so I have to draw that in before coloring or I will forget and it will throw me off. I don't usually draw the entire pupil either, I just draw the part that I see. Since there is a horse in this picture, I match up sections of the horse with parts of his face to ensure that everything is placed in the correct position and that the proportions are retained. On the horse, there's leather and metal pieces to pay close attention to because they have a lot of light shining on them. And at first glance, they may appear to be one shape, but when a drawing is upside down, it may seem like a completely different shape because you will see more dimensions of each piece, if that makes sense. If I didn't mention it already, I'm using either the 2H or F graphite or maybe both when I was drawing this out. He has a lot of stubble in this picture, therefore I had to draw about 60% of that out with regular pencil to map it on the paper. I try not to draw too much facial hair because it can start to look muddy later if you color over it with skin tones. It starts to look kind of sloppy and that's not the aesthetic I was aiming for. Throughout this video, you'll see that I toggle between erasers. There's the kneaded one, the black eraser, and 2 Tombow mono erasers, a round one and a square one. I also have 2 battery erasers and I use these and the round mono eraser frequently to keep the sketch lines really crisp. I have to know where I'm coloring and an eraser is crucial to that. There is a section shown here where I started to draw the original logo on the hat before I decided to change it. The other reason I decided to change it was because I didn't like drawing that and the symbol of hope would be better. When I was at Comic-Con, I had to spend a lot of time, again, showing the people of society that my pictures are drawings. This drawing threw them off the most. Everyone recognized him instantly, although they thought it was just a photo. I didn't have to put a sign on the table with his name, people just instantly knew. And my friend who was helping me at my table was talking to people about his handsomeness. She said it's the chin, but I think it's the everything.
And again, it tells me only one thing. Henry Cavill is my dream man.
While I'm on the subject of Comic-Con, I'm not going as a vendor this year. I didn't make much money last year when I went. I didn't really make that much the year before either. People took pictures with me and they mostly window shopped both days. I don't think Comic-Con is the ideal place for me to be selling my work, even though I almost exclusively do my own renditions of pop culture characters, and that's a pop culture event. It's just not a really good place to sell what I sell. I walked that floor about 4 or 5 times in the 2 days that I was there, and I did not see anything close to what I draw. Nobody there did anything that was super realistic unless it was photography. Comic-Con is like, I don't know, it's for pop culture, but like the artist alley, there was nothing there like where I felt like I fit in. And unfortunately, like my work does stand out, but at the same time, it doesn't really stand out in a good way. I actually talked to the artist who did the promotional artwork for Comic-Con, and she was telling me that people there don't appreciate like the kind of work that I do, and she said, you need to be in a gallery. And I'm like, well, I don't really know how much of my stuff I can sell in a gallery because some of the stuff I draw is copyrighted. So I'm really on the fence about selling it, even though technically it's like fan art because it's my own version of something. So I don't really know what I should do. I have all of these prints that I'm trying to get rid of, and it's like I spent a lot of money printing them. If I get commissions or something, I'm just trying to give those away with the commission pieces that I do because they're not selling. So I've been having to restructure my commission rates for this year as well, just to make sure I actually make money off of my work. So I did learn some valuable information while I was there from the artist. She was really nice. She looked at my work and even she thought that they were photos, and she was just really in disbelief that somebody could draw like that with colored pencil. I think the colored pencil part really throws off people too, because sometimes they think that they're paintings. To me, they don't look like paintings, but I guess to the average non-artist, they probably do. I'm kind of running into some stuff that I'm trying to change because I didn't really make any money last year on my artwork. I made like less than $100, and then the year before that I made a couple of $100, and then the year before that I think I made around $700. As the years are going on, I'm making like less and less per year, so I want to work on that. It's easier for me to be an artist than it is for me to like have a regular job at a place every day at the same time every day, because sometimes my health is unpredictable, and being an artist is a lot more flexible. The hours are more flexible. I can work around, being sick or whatever. So I feel like last year was like really discouraging when I went to Comic-Con. I'm not even going to lie. Like by the time the second half of the first day rolled around, I think I was pretty much done. Plus my feet were hurting really badly on the second day. I'd say like halfway through the first day, I was just kind of done. I kind of lost my motivation to be there. I tried to keep up and, try to like be happy for the rest of the day. But honestly, I was just I was kind of thinking like, I don't know, what is the point of all this? The only thing that came out of that was that artist that I met that gave me some good information to work with, some good information to try and get my work in a gallery. And that's why I'm trying to do like a different series of drawings of either stuff I've taken myself or royalty free, copyright free stuff that I find online, and kind of making it fit my idea or fit my vision. So I'm trying to do that this year a little bit more. I'm going to see how that goes, but yeah, I don't know. I felt like I'm kind of done with like trade shows or Comic-Con as a vendor. I mean, I might go back to Comic-Con, but it won't be as a vendor. Anyways, back to this drawing. Drawing the horse was a different process. A horse's face has an immense amount of hair, and I'm not about to draw all of that in regular pencil. I'm not crazy. I drew out the different sections of the horse's face where the hair color and shadows change, which is pretty much how I map out shadows on a person's face. During the coloring, I use several layers of a dark pencil color, then use the X-Acto knife to etch away each hair, then color with a lighter color. And there are some parts where I do the opposite, color with a light or medium color, then go in with a dark shade. Kind of depends on what area of the horse I'm drawing. If it's a part of the face that's closer to the sun, then I will use the light color method first with drawing dark hairs over that. When I'm setting it back in space, obviously I'll use a darker color. That's pretty much all I have for you today. I do have another YouTube channel. If you run out of videos to watch on this channel, you can check out my second channel, Jasmine Baker 2, where I do TV commentary and story times. I also recently started doing movie reviews. Those are a lot of fun. Recently, I decided that I'm going to try and feature some people that are reaching their fitness goals on some of my videos on my other channel. So I'll give you guys more information on that. Just you can head over there and subscribe. I will leave the link in my description. I will also leave the link for my website in the description, and my prices for 2024 are on the contact page of my website. That's all I have for right now. I'm still trying to work on some other tutorials. I have to work and I just feel kind of run down right now. So I'm kind of doing these voiceovers to get caught up on videos, and then I have some videos to work on for my second channel. If you want a tutorial on something specific with drawing, leave a comment. I'm sure I can dig into the abyss of my passport hard drive and find videos to turn into a tutorial. But that is all I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. There will be another video next week. Make sure you turn on your post notifications so you get notified when it uploads. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Take one step.
see the inside of her head.